This is to advise the general public and to instruct that if recorded in the minutes that in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Law 1975 entitled Open Public Meetings Act, Hardison Township Board of Education posted a meeting notice setting forth the time, date, and location of this meeting at the office of the Hardison Township Board of Education and on the district's website and mailed to the New Jersey Herald and to the office of the municipal clerk of Hardison Township. Everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mrs. Bledsoe, can I have roll call, please?
Mrs. Carey? Here. Mr. Demzak?
Here.
Mr. Drellick?
Here.
Mr. Hoffman? Ms. Kalzak? Here. Mrs. Lucarelli?
Here.
Ms. Murata? Here. Mr. Riley?
Here.
Ms. Stoll? Here. We have quorum.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. We have a very brief agenda tonight, but before we open up the floor to public comment, I just wanted to explain a bit about the nature of tonight's meeting, why we're gathering, and some work that the board has done over the past couple of weeks to address the budget. First of all, I appreciate everybody for coming. Secondly, my apologies for not being there in person. We have a student recognition ceremony tonight at my school that I organized and participated in that begins shortly, so I wasn't going to be able to get back and forth in time. Just to, again, clarify the purpose of tonight's meeting, we submitted, as everybody knows, our preliminary budget for county approval a couple of weeks ago at our March board meeting. As it was being reviewed by the county office, it was determined in their review that there was a clerical error, more commonly referred to as a typo, which had a mismatch of numbers between what we approved in March on our board resolution and what was put into homeroom, which is the database warehouse that the state uses to collect this information. So we were asked by the county office to simply reconvene and reapprove what was approved at the March meeting. The action tonight is purely clerical and a formality, and that is the nature of us reconvening. By doing so, and by re-voting on this tonight, it allows us to continue the dialogue that we have had over the past several weeks as a board regarding the budget. So it is my understanding earlier today that there was some social media information posted that was honestly inaccurate and misleading. We cannot do anything tonight to change that original number of 6.65, but I do want to ensure those in public tonight and anybody else watching and the other members of the board, as all of you know, that we have been actively engaged in ongoing discussions about the budget. And I just want to lay out a couple of the things that have happened over the past couple of weeks. We appreciate Ms. Rowland coming on board as interim superintendent after Dr. Ryder's departure. Her and I, within her first week there, met for over 2 hours, actually to discuss the budget and several other district matters. So it was a great chance for us to get together and talk about the handoff leadership-wise and about where we stood budget-wise. Ms. Rowland and Mrs. Bledsoe met several times over spring break. And also during spring break, Ms. Rowland invited the district administration in to discuss and brainstorm ways to address the 6.65% tax levy. Our finance committee met this past Monday night for well over 2 hours to discuss these matters as well. And our normal committee meetings are next week, which will lead into the April 28th budget presentation. And the focus of those discussions will be as well to discuss the budget in committee so that everybody's fully aware of where things stand. So I am proud of the work that the board has done over the past couple of weeks to address that number. We are confident that we are going to be able to lower the number, but the purpose of tonight's meeting is not to discuss details regarding that, but simply just a formality to reapprove what was approved back in March again. So I hope that clarifies I explained this to all the board members via email after it was explained to us on Monday night, but for anybody in the public who kind of was wondering why we were doing this and was certainly to address some of the information that was shared publicly this morning that was inaccurate, I just wanted to clarify exactly what the spirit and intent of tonight is. So with that said, I would like to open the floor to public comment, limited to to agenda items only.
Thank you. Tony Alfano, 30 Tannery Hill Drive. As you know, I also am in the middle of submitting budget to council, to county because I'm on the council. Good to see you all again, by the way. So what we do on council is we get a book, 123 pages of every single line item of the $13,700,000 in the budget. And then we're required to interview the head of each of the departments that are requesting the money. Police, fire, DPW, building departments, all the departments. And so we have to make the hard decisions to do more with less. So the original ask was for an increase of 5.5%. When we went through the 123 pages and talked to all the head of the departments, we were able to cut away enough of the money where it looks like our increase now is down to about 3.49, which is in line with the county and pretty close to what Wallkill Valley High School is I think asking. They're in the 3.5, I'm not sure, because the numbers seem to be elusive. But here, it's always been 6.65, which I know Trenton has handed you a pinochle deck, which you have to play your cards with, and it's difficult. But in the open meeting, there hasn't been any kind of discussion or any kind of attempt to say 6.65 is too much, let's try to get it down, let's go through every line item. So what I'm asking you tonight, if you're going to vote yes to send it to county, is when it goes back to committee, go through all your line items like we did at council, and you could probably find with your $16 million budget, just like our 13.7, you could probably cut out about 2%. A lot of it is going to be uncomfortable, but at least the kids will have a teacher in the classroom and they'll get to school. Whether the after-school programs remain the same, or the substitute teacher list, or the teacher's aid list stays the same, or the administration has to be reduced somehow, as long as the kids are being taught by the teacher in the classroom, that seems to be the main point. With us in council, we just want to make sure the town is safe, the roads are plowed in the winter, and the government functions as lean as it can. So that's my 2 cents. See what you can do to say no and cut out 2%, maybe get down to the 3.5%, maybe even 4%, because that's going to come out to about $300 on average for a taxpayer, $400 for me, close to 6 or 7 for Donna, close to 6 or 7 for Ed. And those are big numbers just on half the tax bill. Then you have the municipal bills going up almost 3.5. So this year is going to be a big raise for everybody. And you know, since you're the biggest bulk of it, try to cut out to 2.5%, that's 6.5%. That's it. Thanks.
Good evening. Carolyn Williams, sorry, my voice artist in New Jersey.
Could you speak up?
Can you stand a little?
I'm sorry, I've been very ill.
Stand a little closer, here you go.
Yeah. So, in terms,
Don't worry, Tony's gonna go up there next after you.
okay. I don't usually come to these meetings, and I do apologize. I've been focused on Sussex County Tech and their budget issues. Didn't realize we had one here. I did see some stuff on social media, so I was concerned. I did think there was a voting tonight. I did see that, Ms. Stoll, you were saying that you weren't approving, that you, in the last meeting, that you wanted more details. I know Mr. Ryder's no longer here, but basically saying you could just say what we're going to do, but didn't have to give fine details, which that's not really good to do, obviously. We need to know what we're doing moving forward. I'm just concerned for the fact of there's ways that we can cut back on things, and there's other ways to get money. I know we did with tech ourselves over the last 3 years, reaching out. I don't know if you have grant writers. I don't know if you have anyone that's looking into, too many people get comfortable and don't want to transition to new companies. You order from the same companies for decades. We were able to save over $30,000 switching to different companies that we order from for pencils, pens, ink, things of that nature. There's just different things you can do to change, things of that nature. Again, with the increase also, I know, obviously you're saying the 6% is off, to the 4 more reasonable, but that also, as far as I'm concerned, that does not affect all of our public, just the ones that aren't on senior freezes and tax freezes. So it does make it higher for the rest of the community. So when you give your increase, it changes the dollar amount per household and property as well.
I don't know, I don't know if we know that answer.
Okay.
But we can look into it.
Definitely look into it, because there's a lot of people who fall under that category in Hardiston, especially Hardiston.
Well, let's hope it doesn't. That's what we're hoping for.
100%. So, I mean, I don't have much more to go on that. I thought you were voting, so I wanted to see where we're at tonight. And I guess you were saying April 28th, you guys will have the rest of the information, and then you'll vote. So there's no vote tonight. You'll decide where we're at.
What we're voting on tonight there was a typo.
What was it?
There was a mistake. It was just, someone put $18,000 instead of $15,000.
Okay, so it's $3,000.
15 instead of 18.
So it was a $3,000 difference.
It wasn't even that. It was just that it was a mistake. Like, should have been 15 where it was 18. Everything else was perfect. The county can't accept it. They
Okay.
sent it back to us, said, please just fix this.
100%.
And that's all we're doing, is going to vote on that. We send it back to them. Then we're going to go and do what we've been doing our homework
Okay.
on, trying to cut things.
Okay.
And we have a little more time to do a little more crunching the numbers. So we have been working hard on it, this whole board.
I believe you. I feel
And we're hoping not to go up if we can.
And then,
The other thing is, the last couple of years, we've gone up very little. So sometimes, you don't take from here, you save. Eventually, it's going to have to
but
get
then we
there.
went into reserves. When I did a little research today, you guys have to go into reserves.
Well, I think we went in the reserves to keep a number down,
Yes.
which we shouldn't have done that.
No.
So you
absolutely.
can't take from Peter to give to Paul, and then also you got to give it back.
And now we need more.
And now everyone thinks like, oh, we're not doing our job on the finance committee.
Okay.
And some people got a little anxious and got out there and kind of raised up this little hornet's nest for no real reason.
Okay.
We're doing our homework, and I know you've heard of it. We're doing our homework.
Of course.
When's the meeting? When's the next meeting?
The 28th.
28th. That's the one to come to and see where we're at.
And then, I don't know who I should address also, because there's a good way to save a good portion of money, and it is with cutting somewhere on this school.
Sue is the woman to talk to.
Okay, because I brought it to Mr. Ryder's over here, and I brought it to both nursing supervisors. There's a nurse, we have a floating nurse that has a no contact order with 2 students. So when she
We can't discuss those.
Okay.
That's
That's a
personal.
lot of money to
Yeah.
save. So then I
Can't
email
discuss
you.
that.
No, if you have some questions, you can grab one of us after, and we'll
Then
push
I'll
with the
let
right
whoever
person.
wants to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love for,
That's a lot of money
ideas.
the school can save instead of hiring substitutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I
Anything else?
appreciate your time.
Anything else?
No, I'll be back on the 28th, and I'll try to be more present.
Okay.
I will focus on tech, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Jeff Altieri, 14 Bracken Hill Road. Last meeting, I had raised some concerns about the last couple of years, and I'm glad you brought it up, Mr. Riley, that the last couple of years, we were especially low. In comparison to the standard 2% that most schools take every year. And we had some compromises that were trying to be made a couple of years ago. And I noted that 2 board members at the time still voted no, even to the lessened compromised budget that was ended up passing. A certain board member went online, ironically during the meeting, and called me a liar. And I have facts to back it up. I'd be happy to pass them on to the board and any ethics committee in the state offers. But calling me a liar online while the meeting is supposed to be going on, when all I stated was 2 people voted against that, is pretty preposterous. When all I did was state fact. So I demand an apology. Otherwise, I'll seek whatever ethics complaint I have to, against any board member that wants to call me a liar and defame me on the internet. But second of all, like I said, to your point, it was especially low. I know compromises were tried to be made, but at the same time, like you said, pay Peter, took from Peter to pay Paul, okay? And we have people in this town that are taking credit, okay, for stopping the spending when all they've done is push it down the hill, okay? And I just want it to be known, all right, that those people speaking out, okay, are still part of the problem. Thank you.
Is there any, I can't see all, it's very wide. Is there any other public comment? Anybody else coming forward?
No.
No? Okay. Okay, moving on to the workshop. This is so it's old business. Looks like we're making a motion to approve old business 4 and old business 5. Can I have a second, please?
It's a tentative budget with both old business because it has to be fully approved together. So this was already approved, so we're just amending the whole, the tentative budget. But we have to put those other 2 motions in as well because it has to be one document.
Okay, so the tentative budget, which I guess is B1 in addition to OB4 and OB5.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay. Any questions or discussion?
So I just want to make a clarification because I asked this at the Finance Committee if we could, because we have been at hard work, and we found out about the 6.65 just to put out facts. We found out about the 6.65 a day before. I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Nick. Yeah.
We found out the day before the meeting about the 6.65%. So we are going line by line, and we are looking at it, and we are having those conversations. The challenge is that we had it brought to our attention the day before the tentative vote, and we could not have another meeting because it needed to be sent to the county by a deadline. So budgets processes work different for different boards and councils. We have different authority figures just like a council does. But I appreciate the feedback, but I really want to say the process would be a little bit better if we didn't put ourselves in a situation, which I brought forward a couple of years ago, of going less and using reserve when we would have had that money not in 24-25, 25-26, and 26-27. Because if we went to 2% 2 years ago or 3 years ago, my math, if I do it correctly, 0.45 times 3, it would have been that this would have been about a 5% increase.
We also had a period when we went 1.5.
That's what I'm referencing, Sue.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's lots of work that is coming up and still happening. And I did ask if we could approve what we already, as the Finance Committee, before more work continues, have asked for the budget, but the answer was the county BA said, no, it has to be exactly what was done. So that's what's on here. And I look forward to continued conversations, but it is a bad year in general. And I'm hoping that when it comes out of the changes and the challenges and the resolutions and the impact that has happened in Hardiston because of whatever budget finally gets passed and what impact it has, everybody has to look at our neighboring towns and what they're going through and what cuts they're facing. And over the last 6 or 7 years where current members, past members have been involved in, we've been able to get around the opportunity of not having to make tough decisions by attrition and other things. So of course I'm going to approve this, and as a member of the Finance Committee, we gathered input from lots of people. A lot of the ideas were taken into account to the credit that they could, and some of them maybe might not be budgeted ideas, which we could put in the budget, but could be cost-saving measures, which would then therefore create more surplus for the future. And I appreciate people are coming up with ideas for potential staffing the situation, but we cannot share in public decisions that impact staffing or not, whether they're decided or not, because it's a personnel decision. And those therefore would be impacted after the final budget gets passed. So it is a process. The unfortunate reality is that we are in a transition when we are our superintendent was leaving, and I vocalized, you can look at the videotapes of whoever posted it, I was upset at the last meeting, and I voted yes because we needed to. And then, but the reality is, that budget also included cuts, which we have now found out, and it's a challenging year, to the point somebody said, it is true. And we are not gonna make it through this year in Hardiston without facing some of those challenges. And that's just an unfortunate reality of where we are as a region and as a state. It's very hard to compare and London this way, certain budgets to other budgets, because of how many employees we have versus how many employees other people have. Because every employee that takes benefits, our benefits went up significantly this year. It is a healthcare crisis. We're paying 20% of an increase, and the district is responsible for 70% of that increase. We cannot say we're not going to give you benefits. That is illegal. They're full-time employees. So the question is like, how do we find it other areas? And as we know in Superintendent the pie chart, salaries and benefits, that's 75% of the budget.
I'm not cutting you off, but I think, Brian, you gotta leave?
What?
You gotta go?
I'm good, I'm good.
Okay, sorry. Nick.
Sorry, that's good. I'll end it there, Eddie. Because there's going to be lots of more conversations. It's not like this is.
We're working on it, we're working on it.
We are
I think everyone got nervous that this was the final decision, but we're not, that's not even close.
Well, I want to make a comment.
Yeah.
I wasn't present during the last meeting that the vote took place. And ever since, we were asked for ideas and the information was passed through to the Finance Committee.
Sorry to interrupt, whoever's talking, can you just try to speak a little bit more into the mic? I'm not sure it's doing anything here.
Yes, so
John,
what I
no,
want to say that not everybody was involved in the budget or in decisions on how they came about, what cuts are being proposed. And even though you're saying transparency is here, I mean, I'm one of those people that don't have this information. I don't know what is this budget for? And why is it so high? I don't have any specifics. I also don't have any how we're reducing this budget. So, I mean, we can raise a hand and see who actually is privy to the budget information right now. I'm a board member. I'm an equivalent to every one of you. I have not seen any of this information. So, I don't think it's fair for me to even vote for this right now. And I would have voted no because I wouldn't have agreed on 6.55. I would have said, why don't we just take a different number? Let's go for 5. And if we go lower, that's great. If you have to go higher, that's great. Where did 6.55 come from?
I don't think it works like that, we can just pick a number.
Well, where did it come from?
We'll
Where
just
did
pick
this number
it
come
doesn't
from?
work, it's a guessing number, we're figuring 6.5 before, we need numbers to come in.
It was in the presentation. They said the 2% levy, there was bank cap. We were able to, we used a waiver because of health benefits to go over, I don't know the exact presentation, but at the meeting, there was a presentation of what was included in the budget and what was not. I vocalized my concerns because in that presentation, it said that 6.65%, $239,000 was getting cut. And that's my concern was like, not just what was in the budget, because then I asked, like, we didn't know what was getting cut at the time.
Right. Well, I still don't know what's, like, even until today, we can present that. There's discussions being done by committees, but it's never filtered out to other people, and we still don't have the information.
Well, as a board, then we're gonna have to work on that, I guess, because when you go to personnel, I don't know what committee you guys are on, but,
I'm on curriculum.
all right, so curriculum, I don't hear everything that's going on with curriculum. And I have to
Well,
trust,
I mean, this budget is very important, I think. We should
Curriculum's
only
not.
privy to this information right now. We're working on budget right now, so it affects curriculum as well, so we should all know exactly where the numbers are coming from.
you will,
When it's time to vote next week?
after the
week
vote.
after? In
Remember
1
Hillary
week,
Clinton said that, didn't Hillary say that, after the vote? After the vote, you'll know. No, I'm joking. We're working on it right now, Donna, we don't have all the numbers, right? Are we still working on this?
Yeah, but the next week, committees, the entire time of committees was devoted towards the budget. So we cannot meet, a lot of this is in personnel. I can't talk to you right now and say out in front and out loud because it's personnel implicated. And that's the challenge. So, but in committees, we can have those conversations, but unfortunately, we just had that committee meeting on Monday. We can't, like, we had 4 people there on the finance committee. All 4 members were there. We spent over 2 hours reviewing that list that was presented and looking at it, and and the ideas by our business administrator and our interim superintendent to finalize it and review it. And that's not this. And I said it, I think I said it to Eddie today, I was like, I'll be happy after it's done to go in a room and sit with you or anybody else. I can't have 5 people, but I'll go in there and tell you what the things are that we discussed in there that's being worked on, and do that. But the other thing, you all know my number. Everybody knows my number. You pick up the phone and call me. And
Nick, I want to make sure my vote gets counted in this, but I just want to encourage all members of the board. After that meeting Monday, I sent everybody a very thorough overview of what was discussed. And at the end of that email and every other one I send all of you, I ask that you call if you want to talk about any of these things. So, the cuts will be shared later this evening. We have our committee meetings next Thursday night. I encourage you to call each other, call me, so that we can discuss these things. That way, that work session next Thursday night for the 2 committees that meet can be efficient and productive, and we can make decisions on the best behalf of the staff and the students in the district. But please call. I mean, I share in our collective frustration that during that March meeting we were up against a very firm deadline, and we were presented with a budget increase that I don't think any of us fully understood, with a couple $100,000 in cuts on top of the 6.65% increase that was suggested. So I share in that frustration, but we are past that tonight. The focus and the purpose of tonight is purely formality of reapproving the budget because of a clerical error. Nothing can change regarding the 6.65 of the preliminary budget, but that most certainly does not mean that nothing's going to change for the real budget vote, which is on April 28th. This has to be done first as a matter of formality before we could do that. But please call. I don't want any, it was a little bit difficult to hear Donna, but if anybody wants to talk about any of this stuff at any point, I end every email with just call me. So I really strongly encourage you guys to do so. I feel terribly that I'm not there in person tonight.
The other thing is, we got it Monday, we talked about it, it's Thursday, it's a couple of days, and we were just gonna vote on this, so it moves forward, and we have a whole month to talk about it more and get you guys the information. That's really what it is. We're not voting on it right now. Maybe that's what you're thinking we're doing. We're not. We talked about it Monday, it's Thursday. We're gonna sit down, Ryan will send it out when he's allowed. There's some deadlines that we don't all get it all the time. Even myself, you can't send it out because of this, but you're gonna get it.
Great, thank you.
Can we vote on this now?
Is there any further questions or discussion, Ed?
No.
Okay. Was that enough?
Correct.
Okay, got it.
Well, let me just, wait, Brian, let me just say, what we're voting on now is to fix the typo.
Yes, that's all.
Okay.
Fixing the typo, that's it, so it can be approved, that the preliminary budget can be approved, and we can work towards the real budget approval on April 28th. And make changes to this.
Do you want me to do roll call?
Was there, yeah, everybody else good?
Is everybody good?
Okay, roll call please, so.
Mrs. Carey? No. Mr. Demsack?
Yes.
Mr. Drellick?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Ms. Calzak?
No.
Mrs. Lucarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Marata?
Yes.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
Ms. Stoll?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to open it back up to public comment if there are any.
I'm gonna bother you again. Sorry.
Don't be sorry.
It's starting really good again. I just feel like this is one of the harshest Board of Ed meetings I've ever attended. And I have 6 kids and 2 grandchildren. Maybe it's the way you guys do things. Donna, right, Donna.
Mrs. Carey?
Miss Carey, I apologize. I was trying to zoom in with my phone to get your name. I can understand your concerns. Brian, you stated you sent out an email. I understand only a certain amount of people can be included, otherwise it's a quorum. So I'm assuming she was excluded, that's why she doesn't have any of this information. Your next meeting's on 4/28, so you're stating, Mr. Dempsey, that anyone can call you at any time, but if she had none of this information, she would have known to call you.
The information was shared via email, what could be shared. I'm not gonna respond. Go ahead, continue your question.
No, but Brian leaves on his emails, he says,
He
call
sent
me
the
anytime.
information, yeah.
Brian does.
But I'm saying, was that information shared?
No, if there's no information shared, if it's not shared,
Well, because
just
you
call me.
If you play back your video, you just said that he'll send it out when he can. Brian
I don't
said he
understand
sends
what
it.
she's talking about.
He sent out what he could.
I think the question is just did all 9 members of the Board of Ed get the same email?
Are you all getting the same one? Because she seems to be blindsided.
No information was shared. It was, if you have specific questions, please contact the Finance Committee. And I had sent an email asking the Finance Committee to provide with information what are the cuts, where are the cuts from, and I haven't heard back from them since then, so.
So that's why I feel like that's not being validated. So that's what my concern is.
Wait, hold
It seems
on.
very
When did you send that email?
Monday or Tuesday?
So Tuesday, what's today?
Thursday.
And the meeting's what, a month away?
Yeah, in a week or so.
Okay, but you're at a meeting this evening, so my.
This meeting has nothing to do with that.
It's a
We can
reapproving
do
the budget.
semantics, but I'm saying.
No, this
there's
meeting has
just-
nothing to do with that. Everyone's gonna get the information before the next meeting.
There's just a level of respect. It felt very disrespectful. If you have my number, Brian, yes, I know you personally and through the Board of Ed and sports, everything. And yes, you're very open, transparent. But if she's asking and saying no, she doesn't agree, and yes, there's a month until the meeting, I understand that. But also, be respectful in your responses. Don't throw it as this is curriculum compared to this is not a voting night. She's asking a simple question. It's very,
Well, you
it's
just said-
very unfriendly.
You just said that you know him and trust him.
Yes, he was kind.
And-
You turned around and turned it into curriculum to Ms. Gary.
He's the president, so
Right.
he's our leader.
That's fabulous. of
If
him.
you trust him, we're in good shape.
I don't think the way you or Mr. Desmond spoke to Ms. Gary was very polite just now. It's a very harsh meeting. Maybe review it tonight. Maybe everyone's on edge because we're always put on social media. But it's
Perhaps,
perhaps.
but this meeting,
That's fine. So that's all I have. You know me. I want to know this. I've been to plenty of meetings. I don't usually.
I appreciate the dialogue.
I will be back to.
I appreciate the
see a lot
dialogue.
more of me,
The meeting was for just to vote on the amendment of the typo,
which is.
but it got blown out of proportion.
And that's why I think that maybe apologies are due more than just to Mr. Altieri. The way that she was spoken to was very rude.
By me?
You switching it to curriculum and you.
I was making a point. I didn't mean to be rude if I came out rude.
It's a.
I trust her in curriculum. I'm asking them to trust us in finance.
And the school and the taxpayers are trusting you to do what's best for the school. And
Absolutely.
this is the first one that I've attended except 1-2 years ago because it was such a bad bullying issue. That this is disheartening, that this is what's going on and to try to fix a problem.
What's going on?
The attitudes. My 3 minutes is up, I know, so I know how it goes, trust me, I'm at the commissioner meetings. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Gosh, you're disgusting.
David? Brian?
Yes. Was there anybody else?
No.
Okay. Okay, there will be no executive session tonight. With that, and no further action discussion required by the Hubbardston Township Board of Ed at this time. I present a motion at 6:36 to adjourn. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. I know it was short notice. I appreciate everybody attending. Thank you.